so what's the read on this? Eric Beach joins us right now, Great America Alliance co-chairman. You've heard the back and forth on this, Eric, that even if there was a quid pro quo, in other words, even if the president got what he wanted, and eventually the aid that was, delayed was delivered, and that seems like a pretty stark, connection. It is not an impeachable one. What do you think of that?
Well, yeah, I don't think it's impeachable, but I also think our messaging is a little off. The reality is Obama never gave Ukraine aid. He kind of withheld it many times. And I think that the president of the United States should look at, and we should look at it as both Republicans and Democrats, withholding aid from any corrupt country. That's within his right to do that as president of the United States. So, Ukraine is one of the most corrupt countries, and asking for them to fix themselves in-house is not a bad thing if it was based on receiving aid. And I wish we would do that with more countries around the world. All
right. Indeed, we have under Democrat and Republican presidents. There is a little bit of a differentiator here in that it involved someone who could become a prospective opponent against Donald Trump in the next presidential elections. So,
but he was also vice president of the United States for 8 years.
Right, you're quite right. But let me ask you this. If this were Bill Biden, anyone else but Joe Biden, would it have gotten the president's involvement?
Possibly. Look, here's what I think the hypocrisy
is. Think about that. Really?
I do. I mean, here's the reality. We've asked our president, we've asked the administration to come out and say, hey, really come down on Russia or anyone else that has influence in terms of our foreign elections, right? Now he's asking about some type of corruption. And when he campaigned, he talked about withholding aid from, both our adversaries and anyone else that we've given it to. And again, going through these processes, and you're supposed to do that as president if a country is deemed to be potentially corrupt, and Ukraine has been.
All right. So to the other argument, it's a more legal one that said that you'd need that aid never delivered. And it was delivered, albeit late. The president of the White House, Republicans have been saying there's no connection with the delay in that aid and what ultimately happened, but there's no there. It's not impeachable. So that's where you stand. It's just unsavory, though some of this might be. It's not impeachable.
Yeah, I think it's neither impeachable, but I also think we should start on a going forward basis. Start really talking about how we distribute aid around the world and making sure that we don't do that with countries that are deemed to be corrupt.
All right. We'll see what happens on all of this. Very good seeing you again.